Well, back at the hospital again. The good news is they were able to put my prolapsed asshole back in without keeping me overnight. Gloryhole, here I come.
Oh, it's the kid getting words. Podcast on blast, giving you the real talk, no holding back. Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. There's always a silver lining. We'll set you free, so join the movement. Let's change the game with the Can't Get Any Worse podcast.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Can't Get Any Worse podcast. How are we all today? I hope we're all well and just ripping into whatever fucking day we're up to. My God, chaos around here today. It is the Eka public holiday. So Nikita and the boys are home. It is 2 p.m. in the afternoon, which, as you guys know, that is a lot later than I would like to get this bad boy recorded. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? We just move forward and get an episode out of there. I mean, I'm not going to lie. This was the closest I've come to not putting an episode out for the first time in like the last 3 years or whatever. But the way the days panned out, I was like, fuck it. Get in there, get something laid out and at least release some sort of episode, mainly due to the fact that I have two fuckwits locked in for episode 250. And if I told them I had to bump the podcast back a week because I wasn't feeling it, God, I would be ridiculed. I'd be smashed into the crust of the earth. But anyway, let's have a suss of this opening clip and get into what's going on in my week.
Well, back at the hospital again. The good news is they were able to put my prolapsed asshole back in without keeping me overnight. Gloryhole, here I come.
Now that is a win. Gloryhole, here I come. Could that be the episode title already? I like it. I kind of like it. It insinuates that I want to visit the glory hole, but in fact that disgusting lady right there is about to venture into the land of glory holes now that her prolapsed arsehole has been pushed back in without having to stay overnight. So shout out to that lovely lady. And what a way to kick off a classy episode with none other than that. Like that is such a cool way to kick off the episode. But you know, an even better way to kick off the episode, cracking our delicious can of kamikaze. We've got Fire Engine today, and it's been a couple of weeks since I've had one of these, so let's crack this bad boy. Ooh, crisp. That is crispy. Let's have a little sip and then rip into what's going on in my week. All right. So, breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you guys can hear it in my voice right now, but this week, especially the beginning of last week, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, faded over a little bit into Thursday. I genuinely thought I was done with podcasting and comedy once again. The biggest spiral I've had since starting TRT. It was absolutely insane, you know what I mean? And so I don't even really know what brought it on. Like literally finished the podcast last week, started doing what I had to do, getting the edits done, yada, yada, yada. And I just got in such a funk and genuinely don't know what it was. I was just in my own head about everything. And it really escalated on Tuesday when I had to go back to that magical place that I call a workplace. And the only thing I could think nonstop all that day was fuck cabinet making. I'm like, don't get me wrong. I know you guys are as sick of hearing this as much as I'm sick of saying it. I am 99.9% sure I'm fucking done with cabinet making. I could almost guarantee I won't be doing cabinet making by the end of the year. Whether that come of the way of finally sacking up and getting the fuck out of the industry or just being dead. You know what I mean? There's two options there. I don't know which option sounds better at the moment, but I need to get the fuck out of there. I think I pretty much landed on that last week. It is just so depressing just going there and just like, you know what I mean? Like I've hated it for, when did I start it? So started my school-based apprenticeship in 2007. So what's that? 19 years. Been doing it for 19 years. Jesus Christ, that is fucking ridiculous to be doing the same job for 19 years, especially when you fucking hate it. So I was looking at some other jobs and things like that, and I don't know. There's just like, this is the issue. There's genuinely nothing else out there that intrigues me. Like I was looking at Seek and Indeed and things like that, And every other job that I would go to would just be another one of like, I don't know, like I don't think I'd get any enjoyment out of it. You know what I mean? Like stacking shelves at Woolworths. What were some other jobs on there? I don't even fucking remember, but you know what I mean? They're all like labouring jobs, like removalist and stuff like that. I would get half a truckload in, my knee would blow out, my back would be aching, I'd just be on the floor dying, and the Samoan fucking workmates that I'd be with would just be calling me a giant softcock. The other problem is once I start a new job, like don't get me wrong, I have it cushy as fuck at this job in terms of comedy and podcasting and things like that. If I need a day off for whatever reason, it's not a drama. I do the 4-day week, so I get Mondays off to record the podcast, yada, yada, yada. My next job probably isn't going to let me do that. So comedy and podcasting will probably take a huge hit if I am to pull the trigger and do this. And I'm just at the mindset of like, I don't know what's better. Just keep chugging along and hope that something comes from this shit, or suck it up, get out of cabinet making and hope that that little aspect of my life gets better. But in reality, realizing that that pretty much means like podcasting and comedy is getting shelved for a couple years, you know what I mean? So I don't know where I'm at with it all. But yeah, I just know that I was scrolling and scrolling, and I don't know where that's all going to land. But anyway, when the other thing that sort of kicked me in the balls is, as I've sort of said, I've been playing with the whole comedy tour and things like that. Now, I had 2 towns locked in, like 100%, email, committed dates, times, dates, tickets, fucking yada, yada, yada. It was more or less just me make them live when we got close to the event. And then I probably had like another 4 that were verbally agreed. Like, yeah, like let's firm it up closer to the dates, things like that. And I don't know how the world works in this mysterious way, but it's almost like the world knew, oh, Jimmy's feeling down this week. Let's kick him right in the dick, because somehow in the grand scheme of the whole entire world, right, both those venues that I had locked in, the 2 that were like 100% a lock, these are happening. They both sent me emails on Tuesday and Wednesday last week and were basically like, hey, we're cancelling your show because we've got something else that night now that we need to replace instead of this little comedy night. And my God, what a little kick in the nuts, you know what I mean? One of them was the one that I was looking forward to the most in the hometown, the homecoming of the prodigal son down in Gundawindi. And that venue replied, and they're just like, oh, we've got something. I forget his exact wording, but it was such a fucking stupid email to send, more or less along the lines of, we've got something better now, so we're not going to be doing your show. And I almost wanted to reply and be like, do you know who my family is in this town? You know what I mean? Like, the family that I'm related to down there is pretty respected. And I almost wanted to pull like the manager card, you know what I mean? But I was like, you know what? I want to do this little comedy thing on my own. So it is what it is. I'll get there down there one day. So the good news is there's no comedy dates booked in for the solo tour. So we're basically back to square one. So that's awesome. And then look, on top of all this, so I'm feeling down. I don't want to fucking do my job anymore. Don't know where I'm at with comedy and podcasting. The solo tour has fucking copped a big hit. And this was probably the biggest hit. I'm feeling miserable on like Tuesday night or something. And Nikita comes up to me. She goes, do you want me to tickle your back? My kryptonite, okay? I am a sucker for back tickles. I just turn into a tiny little kitten. I just take my shirt off. I lay on the bed, curl up like a little depressed kitten that I am. Meow. And and she starts tickling my back. And instantly, within like 7 seconds, I'm calm. I'm feeling so much better. I'm like, this is amazing. Then she goes, I don't know if this is a good time for me to bring this up. And I say, well, then don't. She goes, okay. Keeps going for another 20 seconds or so. I begin to get relaxed again. And then she goes, no, I've got to tell you. And I've gone, oh, God, here we fucking go. What do we got here? She goes, you've started to develop an excessive amount of back hair. Oh, God. Way to kick me when I'm down. Like, thanks for that. Came here for emotional support and just left with fucking manscaping issues. My God. But she goes, you should mention it to your testosterone doctor. I'm like, okay, I'll be sure to bring it up. I mean, 6 months ago, I was apparently a 12-year-old schoolgirl, and now TRT's turning me into some sort of fucking angry man bear pig. So this sums up my week, guys. Depression, unemployment, and now I'm just a hairy fucking weird cunt, okay? I'm just collecting all the issues around here, but let's get into some other shit. I've discovered that there's one place on the human body that could potentially be the worst place to get a splinter, and that is under your fucking fingernail. My God. Last week, I don't even know how I got it, okay? I just looked at my finger one day and noticed that there was probably a 10 centimeter splinter from the tip of my fingernail, like down into my nail bed, I suppose you'd say. And it was just intense. I'm trying to dig this bad boy up. I'm trying to cut the nail back as far as I can. You know when you cut your nail and you start to get to that real like sore, like fleshy area? You're like, I can't stand this pain anymore. Feels like I'm in some sort of Chinese torture trap or something like that. And I can't get it out. Eventually, I got about 90% of it out. Basically no fingernail left now, which is sick. But one sec. Yeah, it was insane. I'm basically half man, half stick. Stick man. Call me stick man. I'm basically tattooed on Ash's arm. So speaking about Ash, might be on the podcast in a couple of weeks. Who knows? Let's have another sip of this delicious kamikaze. All right. Parker had another moment this week where I'm just like, I don't know whether to be disappointed or proud, you know what I mean? Nikita was doing his homework with him, and he's got these like flashcards, I suppose you'd say, with your like spelling words or sounding out words and things like that. And he's got them for his homework. So he's in prep. The homework is easy as fuck. It's like a 3-minute homework task, but it takes him like 4 hours of negotiation just to get him to do it. Nikita gets to the first card. She holds up the flashcard and it's got the following on it, okay? I'll spell it out for you guys. You guys can tell me what you think it says in your head. Look. Give you a second. What do you guys think that says? Do we agree that it says look? Okay, we're all on the same page. Nikita holds it up to Parker. She goes, what does this say? He pauses, he looks at it, and he goes, 100K. And Nikita's going, what? Parker's like, 100K, like $100,000. This kid doesn't see letters. He sees numbers. He's a genius, okay? Like I said, he's going to run companies one day. He doesn't read English. He reads Forbes magazine, okay? That's where he's at. So forget spelling. Teach this kid compounding interest or something like that. Future billionaire in our household. So speaking about future billionaires, let's play our next Turns Out It Can Get Worse clip. Drag this bad boy over. Ooh, fucking scrolled too far over there. All right, let's hit play on this.
Every time I run by the trussie, I spit in it so it knows that I love it and that I'm the boss.
Just have to spit in that trussie so he knows that you love it and that he's the boss. So anyone that's confused as to what a trussie is, it's a tree pussy. So nature's just out there getting way too fucking intimate, if you ask me. I need to find myself a trussie when I walk the dog. Now, look, this story, I already know before I say this out loud, this is not going to come across funny to you guys. This is more of like an internal thing that I literally could not stop laughing at this week. And I think you need to know Westy, know how Westy is around people. So as I've mentioned before, Westy's on the spectrum, okay? He's one of the levels of autism. One of the big things that he struggles with is like social cues and like talking to strangers, I suppose you could say. Anyway, we'll get to that part. But on Friday night, Parker has absolutely fucking destroyed Westy's face somehow. Just scratched him from the nose all the way out to the ear. Just a straight cut, okay? Turned him into the Joker or some shit. Looks absolutely intense. And Westy's obviously complaining about it. He's like, I look fucking gross, yada, yada, yada. And we're trying to comfort him and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, following morning, he's got basketball training. Take him to basketball. He finishes up training. I get him in the car and I go, oh, did everyone ask you what happened to your face? He's like, yeah, everyone asked me. And I'm like, what did you tell them? He's like, they just said, do you have a cat? And I'm like, what'd you say? He's like, yeah. And then I'm like, and then what? He's like, nothing. And I'm like, Westy, do you understand they were asking if you had a cat because they thought the cat scratched your face? This kid genuinely thought they were just randomly asking him if he had a cat. He's like, this is a weird way to fucking ask me why my brother cut my face. Absolutely insane. So now everyone at basketball knows that Westy owns a cat and thinks that it's a fucking psychopath. So I had to explain that little bit of, what's the word? Human interaction with him. I don't fucking know. Then again, as you guys know, we've been trying to get Parker into a sport and things like that. Rejected jiu-jitsu, rejected fucking everything. We're going through the list. We're like, do you want to try this? Do you want to try this? We finally get to golf. He goes, golf sounds pretty cool. Instantly. I'm like, all right, fine. Start selling him the dream. Heaps of money. Professional golfers make so much money. He's like, oh, do you reckon I'd make $1 million on my first game? And I'm like, no, definitely not. But you can work up to it. And he's like, okay. So I'm like, you want to go play mini golf? He's like, yeah, sure. We get to mini golf yesterday. First swing, fucking hates it. 21 holes of just emotional warfare, just him moping around, just not wanting to do it. And Nikita used to play a bit of field hockey back in the day. She looks at his swing and she goes, Pete, do you want to play hockey? She goes, I think you'd be really good at it. Shows him a couple of clips on YouTube. And apparently now we're looking for a local hockey club because he likes hockey. Who even where do you sign up for a hockey club? Like, I wouldn't even know what the Beanley hockey club would even be called. So pretty much Parker was a modern day Happy Gilmore at the golf course because he was just smashing the golf balls around like they were a hockey ball. So call that kid Parker Gilmore from now on. Oh my God. I'm just going to skip through that next one because it was that wasn't even good. Let's play another Turns Out It Can Get Worse clip and get into my weekend comedy. Where the fuck is the rest of... What the fuck? The rest of my run sheet has just vanished. Oh, there we go. How did that get over there? Hold on, guys. Just a bit of on-air fucking... See, this is what happens when I skip a section. All right, let's play this section and I'll work that out, my weekend comedy after. Let's hit play on this guy, see what he's on about.
I just realized is we don't have to keep calling things what they've always been called. You know, for example, blue balls. Never understood it. Why is it called that? The color doesn't change. So from now on, I will be calling it a cummy ache. And if you would like to join in on this change, I appreciate your support.
Jesus Christ. Doctor, I've got a severe case of a cummy ache. I don't know about you guys. I'm a lot more keen to call it a cummy ache. So get around it. That could even be the episode title. These pages have fucking disappeared again. What the hell? All right, let's open our little master copy here in OneNote and drag that over. Don't know what the fuck is going on there. Sorry, guys. Just got to maximize that now. Solo Podcasting 101. Any editors that want to come and work for free, hit your boy up. Gonna have a little sip of this before we do get into my weekend comedy. All right, kicked off Newmarket Hotel last Monday night. And so I get there. As you guys know, last time I was on, I came in here and I bitched and moaned that I was last on. My least favourite spot to be on the Newmarket Hotel. And this time I go to the sound desk and he's looking for my name. Just skips the first couple of names. I don't know why. Just degrading me on the spot. Like, you don't deserve to be up there. We're skipping through. He's like, I can't see you on the list. So then I have a look. I'm like, oh, there I am, right at the top. Number 1. Okay. Look, is that the best spot to be? Yes and no. It can go one of two ways. It can go great because the crowd's there, the energy's there, or you just ruin the comedy for everyone. So I'm immediately overthinking it. I'm like, does the fucking room runner think I'm shit? Yada, yada, yada. Now, I don't know if the owner of Sit Down Comedy Club has had a chat to all the MCs, but it feels like I finish the Newmarket Hotel and every time I come on here with a story of how the MCs got in my head. Yet again, so did this MC. I'm at the gig. There's not many people there that I talk to on a regular basis. So I'm just chilling by myself and the MC spots me. He comes over, he has a chat. We're just making small talk. and he goes, "Oh, you're on first tonight." I'm like, "Yeah, keen to get on and get out of here pretty quickly." And he goes, "Yeah, that's good. The crowd deserves a good comedian to go first." And I'm like, "Oh, great, no pressure." I go, "I don't think I'm going to do pretty well tonight. I'm like doing some newish gear, and it's been pretty hit and miss." And he's like, "Oh, don't stress." He goes, "I've seen the rest of the lineup. If you bomb, everyone else is fucked." Great, thanks, mate. Just absolutely wild expectations on my shoulders. So I got up there. Actually had a pretty solid set, so can't complain. Then on Thursday night, I had the Brisbane Comedy Cellar again. I don't know what. I just keep getting added to random group chats and shit for that room, so I don't actually know when I am on and when I'm not there. And I sort of look. Let's get into it, and then I'll get to that point. So there's about 30 people there, which is good for that room. It's a nice, tight little room, and 30 people almost feels like a sellout in a weird way. And they've given me a 7-minute spot. I get up there. I spent a fair chunk of the first part just talking to the crowd, just going back and forth, to the point where I suddenly realise, fuck, I feel like I'm getting close to the 7 minutes. So I somewhat work into my set. I hit the dude on the sound desk up. I go, "How much longer I got up here?" And he goes, "Probably about a minute." And I've gone, fuck. All right, time to pull out one last quick joke, and finished on a high. So that was another sick night. Great bunch of comedians, sick room. Just one of those nights where everything went perfect. So then let's get to the what's the word? I can't even fucking think of the word right now. But let's get to the one you're all waiting for. The Comedy Warehouse up in Brisbane, the one that I'm helping run from now on with Ryan from the One Talk podcast, or from Soundtake, or from fucking whatever other side business that legend's got going on, because it feels like he has his finger in so many pies. It feels like he's got approximately 47 businesses on the run at any given time. So he's even running like a yacht party later this month, which you boy might have stumbled across a free ticket for. Do I go on a yacht party, guys? I don't really scream yacht party, do I? But I don't know. Maybe with his connection. So he's I'll have another sip and then we'll get on. It's been somewhat refreshing to have somebody to stress about the room with, rather than just stressing by myself usually. So that part has been pretty cool. So we've been on the phone a fair bit this last week, and he hits me up. He goes, "What time do you want to get to the gig on Friday?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe like 6, like an hour before showtime." I don't have to set up staging or lighting or sound for any of this one. So I'm just like, I basically just need to rock up and do my thing. He's like, "Oh, do you reckon you could come at like 4:30, 5 o'clock?" And I'm like, what comedian gets to the gig fucking 3 hours early or however long that is? And I'm like, okay. He goes, "I just want to check the sound, the stage, the lights, the seating, the green room, the bar. I just want to make sure that you're happy with everything." And I'm like, sweet. Completely understand. It's our first gig there. Why not? So I head up there, and the first thing he's stoked to show me is the green room. My God, I've never seen a better green room in my entire life. Fully stocked fridge, unlimited drinks, alcoholic and soft drink, waters, the works, chips, lollies, chocolates, pool tables, dartboards, TV screen with boxing highlights on it, another TV screen with music playing through the sound system in there. It was insane. It was better than my fucking house. I was absolutely blown away. Comedians start walking in one by one. They're like, "What the fuck is going on here?" Like, apparently comedians get a little bit weird when they start getting treated like humans. Like, I said this to Ryan and Bill up there. I'm like, Bill's the other owner. I go, we don't get this. They're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Usually we get shoved in the corner of a pub and get told not to make a peep, or we'll get fucking bashed." And they're like, "That's so shit." And I'm like, "Welcome to comedy, baby." Anyway, then we start looking over the room and things like that. And the only thing that I could pick was if we moved the tables closer to the stage. Like, when I got there was probably a good sort of 2 meters between the stage and tables. And I'm like, let's shut that space out completely. We want the tables basically touching the stage. And I'm so glad we did that. It made for such a better show. And let's get to the crowd. Shout out to you guys. Some absolute fucking legends came out and supported me. Ty Avery from the Rosewood Walk podcast and his partner came up. Brendan Wagner and his partner came up. They both came to my solo show as well. And for whatever reason, they both came to watch me again. So genuinely appreciate the both of you. Rob Sutherland from Blokes Advice and Better Bloke podcast. We're teeing up a few things down the line. He's coming on this podcast. I'm going on his podcast. Yada, yada, yada. And then a heap of people from like the social media world that I've sort of followed for a while, but we've never put face to the name. So those people were mainly there for Ryan, but it was still cool to meet them and be like, oh, I'm that dickhead that likes all your posts. You know what I mean? So I was blown away. Not only so every comedian on the lineup was giving me mad props about everything that we'd done. And I'm like, I haven't really done much for this one. It's all been like the venue. The venue was just going above and beyond for me and the comedians, and the crowd was insane. So show kicks off. I was a little bit worried about the acoustics of it being a warehouse, okay? Major Distillery Road flashbacks because that was in a giant warehouse and just the sound like travels up. So I'm so glad in a way that I had like the training from Distillery Road because I get on stage and I start telling jokes. I can see the people laughing, but I can't fucking hear them. And I'm like, oh God, start internally panicking. And I'm like, am I crushing or are they just like politely moving their faces to make me feel good? And like I said, luckily I had the training in me from Distillery Road because I pushed through and I finished the opening set, bring the first act on, go back to the back of the room. Ryan and Bill straight away are like, that was fucking hilarious. Good job. So I'm like, okay, mustn't have been that bad. I get to the comedians. They're like, that was fucking, you crushed. And I'm like, okay, sweet. Maybe it's not completely fucked. Now, this is where Mr. Ty Avery comes in, saves the day yet again, because I'm at the back of the room listening to the first comedian and I'm not happy with the sound at all. It's sound shit. And I'm talking to Ryan and Bill and they're like, oh, we'll do some soundproofing and shit before the next one. I'm like, yeah, sweet. And then I get a text message from Ty and he goes, what if you turn the fans off? And I'm like, oh, that could fucking work. So I say to Ryan, I'm like, any chance we could get these fans turned off? He's like, yeah, okay, in between these acts, I'll run and turn them off. Goes and turns them off and instantly fixes the sound. Made the show 6,000 times better. So Ty Avery, unofficial acoustic engineer or some shit. I don't know what his new title is. But then we get to the break of the show. So every comedian in the first bracket did super well. And in the break, people were coming up to me and they're like, we want more of you. Like, you need to do more time up there. I'm like, I'm the MC. This isn't really how this works, okay? I just do a little bit and then bring the acts on. And then if they bomb, I do a little bit more. But nobody's bombing. So I'm just bringing the acts on one after one. And so I get back on stage. Based on what people were saying to me in the break, I was meant to do 5 minutes and then rip back into the rest. But I ended up doing about another 10. And, crowd was sweet. I was going back and forth with a couple of them a little bit. Venue was stoked. Comedians loved it. And we just fucking nailed opening night in my books. So September 18th is the next one. I was very skeptical when Ryan was like, do you reckon we could do this first one in 2 weeks? I honestly didn't know they were going to be able to pull it off, and they nailed it. So I'm excited for the next one. They reckon there's going to be a bigger crowd, some small improvements on the first one, and just make it even bigger and better. So excited to see where that goes and excited to be their little resident host up there. Let's play another Turns Out It Can Get Worse clip. All right, what's this bad boy got to say?
I'm gonna breed so many little dirty, slutty fucking shrimp in this tank, you have no goddamn idea.
Pure fucking ambition, that guy. Just some slutty, dirty little shrimp. My God. Some people have vision boards. This guy has a fucking aquarium. So shout out to him. Shit that I've consumed this week. Let's have another sip before we do rip into this part. All right. Look, guys, we're probably going to go pretty under time because of the whole fucking... I'm not feeling it today. I apologise for a shitty episode. But I'm of two mindsets. I'm like, is it better to release a shitty episode or is it better just to skip a week and come back bigger and better next week? I don't know. My brain just won't let me skip a week. So it is what it is, you know what I mean? And on the other hand, I want to get back out there and help Nikita with the boys because they have been pretty fucking chaotic today. But anyway, all right. To kick this off, I'm going to fucking hate myself for saying this, but I have to come clean with it, okay? I have to come clean. I have said on this podcast a fair few times that Rodney Rude is probably, if I had to put together my like superhero origin story, Rodney Rude would be up there as one of the big sort of influences because, as I said, well, this all stemmed, right? I was driving out towards Toowoomba to measure a couple of jobs last week. And as I was driving, I was just like remembering road trips that I used to do on roads like this with my parents when I was a kid. And the background music for those trips used to be Rodney Rude, just because Dad got to control the music and the temperature because he had to drive and stay awake. Fair enough. So Rodney Rude was basically the soundtrack of my childhood road trips. And so I put on I think I listened to two. I listened to one there and one back. And I don't know. I was just rewatching him now and I was just fascinated because the way that I used to look at him was just like, oh, he's an Australian comedic genius. And now I'm just looking at him and I'm like, this is barely structured comedy. You know what I mean? It's just him insulting the crowd. That's the funny part. It's like he's telling jokes. They're not the greatest jokes, but then someone will yell out to him and then he just riffs this like insulting crowd work, which is funny as fuck. Don't get me wrong. It's hilarious. But to think that I was putting him up there as like my Australian Dave Chappelle and things like that. And then he does like these ridiculous characters, things like that, just saying something offensive and ridiculous, just waiting for the crowd to react in any way. So I don't know. I sort of, it's basically like 2000s Australian bloke humor was just bullying someone until they laughed at you. I got a hot take, okay? If you went to high school in the 2000s, so before like 2010, I suppose, before the world came all woke and fucking gay and shit, and then you became a tradie in the 2010s, you probably have the ingredients to become Rodney Rude 2.0. You know what I mean? It just feels like Rodney Rude is every tradie on a job site these days. Just a fuckwit at Smoko. Everything he was saying in those specials, I was just like, okay, I've heard this 38 times on a job site before. But that's my hot take this week. And again, I feel disgusting for even saying it. I still think he's a fucking legend and I still laughed the whole way through it. But I just looked at it in a different like mind frame than what I thought I looked at it. But if you want to see some comedic genius, okay, Damien Power released his latest special free on YouTube this week. I've said it before, genuinely probably my favourite Australian comedian, and it blows my mind every time I get to be on a lineup with him and I just sit in the green room looking at him just drooling and shit like that. And the cool thing about this special is I've seen a fair bit of this hour worked out in the clubs, like at Good Chat, open mics, just around the scene in general, and just watching it all come together into a special was pretty fucking cool. So he absolutely killed it. Funny from start to finish. So I genuinely do not understand how this guy is not a household name. Go check it out. It's free on YouTube, like I said, so there's literally no reason you guys can't give it a watch and have a bit of a laugh. Another thing I watched this week, I finished Entourage, which I spoke to you guys about a couple of weeks ago. Still stands true. Still up there as one of my favourite TV series of all time. I laughed at all the shit yet again. And as soon as I finished it, Paramount goes, oh, you might also like Ballers. Now, I watched Ballers back in the day when it first came out. This seemed to be where The Rock was really just cramming himself down our throats. He was in every second movie. He was in every second TV series. And then I think this was his first crack at like his own TV series sort of thing. And so, yeah, I remember watching the first season and then I don't remember why I didn't go back and like keep watching it. So I threw this on while I was doing some quotes last week and I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. It's a good background show. But yeah, there's nothing really engaging or anything like that you've got to follow along. But it did make me super interested in like the sports and entertainment management world. Like as I was saying earlier, how I'm thinking about getting a new job and things like that. It did briefly make me think like, should I become like a talent manager? Like, should I manage like sports stars or something like that? Like that shit interests the fuck out of me. And then I stopped and I'm thought, and I'm like, fuck, I can't even manage my own Instagram properly. So how would I do that? Probably not. You know what I mean? And the last thing I'll talk about this week, this story's got me hooked. I'm obsessed with it. As you guys know, I'm pretty obsessed with the WNBA at the moment, which, don't get me wrong, that's a fucking gay thing to say out loud. I admit it. But for someone that has a punt, thanks to our friends at Knucklebet, most days of the week on the WNBA these days, I've been following the league pretty fucking closely. And obviously what I'm about to talk about is the Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham situation. It feels like it's been going on for years now, but the last month or so, it's escalated yet again. Mainly because Sophie Cunningham's come out recently and stated the whole thing about only women should be able to play, trans athletes shouldn't be in the WNBA, things like that. And Caitlin Clark's always sort of been of that mindset as well. And yesterday's game in particular, Sophie Cunningham got absolutely annihilated. She got coat-hanged, and then the chick that coat-hanged her got angry because she got sent off, went straight to the locker room and tweeted white privilege. Like, what the fuck? Could you imagine if that was the other way around? If Sophie Cunningham just coat-hanged a black lady and then went to the locker room and said black privilege, there would be riots in the street, you know what I mean? It was insane. The other situation yesterday, Caitlin Clark makes an open layup and the referee was standing underneath the basket. So when Caitlin Clark lands, she accidentally bumps into the referee and the referee calls a flagrant foul on her. It's like, brother, she's playing the game. The referee should move out of the way, you know what I mean? He's doing nothing. Well, she was doing nothing in this situation. So just an angry fucking lesbian referee just wanting to destroy Caitlin Clark. It absolutely pissed me off. But the thing that has made me happy about the whole situation, right, is there's two goats in the conversation right now. To be honest, I've never seen these two blokes play a game of basketball in my life, but the fact that they've come out and done this, nothing but respect, okay? As I said, Sophie Cunningham has come out as of late and said only women should be allowed to play. The WNBA is backing up their stance on letting trans women play and things like that, which is, in reality, it's a 7-foot bloke with a cock who's just saying, I now identify as a woman, and you're just letting them go up against these normal ladies. That's probably going to get me in shit, but you guys know what I'm saying. Anyway, 2 retired NBA players have come out this week and they've declared themselves eligible for the 2027 WNBA draft. They are now saying that they identify as women, and the WNBA, if they're going to stand by their statements, they need to let them be eligible for the draft next year, which is absolutely fucking hilarious, and it just creates an absurd situation for the league. Suddenly, the WNBA has now come out and been like, oh, we can't let you guys be eligible because you're like clearly guys and things like that. And they're just getting tangled up in all this, like the argument that they've created for themselves. And it's hilarious. So the WNBA has basically come out and said, we can't let you in. And they've been like, well, you need to state why. So now they've sort of got to come out and be like, look, you can only play WNBA if you're a chick. So shout out to those guys. Just 2 idiots can walk into an office and just create problems for people. That's the type of shit I like. But anyway, guys, that's brought us to the end of the episode. Shows to plug this week. I have Sunday the 16th at the Morrison Hotel for sit-down comedy, and I'm thinking about doing a couple of little sign-up nights throughout the week, probably Tuesday and Thursday at this stage. But no point plugging those bad boys. Then on Thursday, we've also got the UFC breakdown dropping for UFC 330. Ian Machado Gary versus Islam Makhachev. Going to be an absolute banger. I didn't talk about yesterday's fight night with Quillen. I will do a little bit of a recap at the start of that episode. Just so if you're into the UFC, you can just listen to that one episode and not listen to me dribble about UFC 2 episodes of the week. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you listening. If you want to get in touch with the show, send submissions via DM on Instagram at Can't Get Any Worse Podcast, or shoot me an email at can'tgetanywOrsePod@gmail.com. I appreciate you all, and I will see you later.
Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. It's always